Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Now, excuse me, I said we were going to do regular binary code, and we were going to try it out with this decode, and it took us a while to get to it, but here we are. So we're trying it, and this ended up not being actually all that difficult to do, um, because I was able just to copy paste the binary right off the binary uh, conversion page that I will provide a link to below. So you had Y to I or YI. You had dry to dry, DR. You're doing soft and dry. You had uh, DRY turned to DRI. Cross your DRs off, and you're left with YI because DR is the same. I can demonstrate that right here, I guess. Cross off your DR, bring your YI down. Well, alright, I wrote it down so you can see it, but I'll provide the binary chart, and Y is 011111001, and I is 011011001. Alright, so I copy pasted Y first, and then I'll provide the searches, and I started running our categories. And this is interesting, guys, because this showed me something interesting. So we'll start YI, which the binary, which ends up being 01111001001, 011010001. Got all that. Uh, and I'm not going to say that every time, guys. Uh, you'll get the point. I'm running that against finance now, and you end up with Springer briefs in business, real options in strategic technologies. Um, so, and that's all you got, actually. One, and these are pretty, I'm going to say that these are pretty refined, guys. You're getting like a page or two at most in most of these. Some go farther. But these are pretty targeted, refined results. Coming forward in genetics, YI binary ends up being, excuse the noise outside, apparently there's stuff going on out there, ends up being designing MPLS in next generation data center, a case study. So networks using genetic algorithm. So yeah, and that's all you got. So a genetic algorithm. Oh, that sounds a whole lot like it ties into my fiance's theory. Actually, when I read that, I'm sure she'll want to read into that. But I'll provide the link, and you guys can read on it. But we're going to move on because we got a little to get through. Running the same code forward in genetics or in chemicals. Excuse me. It's a little whatever's going on is distracting. So uh, forward in chemicals ends up being Springer Bio. Oh my gosh, I wish they would just tone it down a little bit. Apologies for that. Uh, chemicals, Springer Briefs, Biotech and Chemicals, Springer Briefs. Now you got that also. And that was, and then you got some ads, guys. And somewhere was an interesting ad. I don't know if I blew by it yet. I don't think so. Somewhere was an ad on one of these searches for artificial intelligence. So, but yeah, you end up with Springer Briefs in business. when you go forwards in chemicals, which is the same result you got when you went forwards in finance. So that's interesting. Um, and then you got a data center, so remember that. So when you bring the same number forward, YI, uh, binary code for real binary code, forward in technology, you wind up with uh, for starters, IEEE STD 6161600 computer network telecommunications. So and it goes on because that's the I knew there was something I wanted to draw to the designing MPLS and next generation data center, a case study. So we had that exact hit in genetics. All right. And also you end up with Springer briefs again. And they deal with technology as well. It comes right up. Then you got bits, objects page, trivially small universes of objects. Hey, you end up with some poem analyses. You got 2 pages of the stuff, and I'm gonna keep going. And then YI and binary ran just for random does get you a host of things. You got a NASA.gov thing, NCSAHDF version 4.2 release, and we all know that I don't put a whole lot of stock into NASA. They're pretty fakey. NAM information technology, NAM information theory. And you got several pages. This was all on page 2, guys. You got several pages of stuff that goes randomly, and that gets you through all of our categories forwards. And I'm trying to get through this as quickly as we can, guys. So now we ran IY backwards through all these categories, and to do that, I just copy pasted I first and put it in the search box, and then I copy pasted Y out of the chart online and put it, so I just reverse the order of these numbers sequences, and which is how we're doing it, and that's how you do it. So when you started coming back in finance, you get TCP IP analysis and troubleshooting, port computer networking, and then it says ranges from governments to healthcare to financial and banking institutions. And so there's that comes up. Data processing technician 3rd class. They do financial, whether you operate a computer program or a financial spreadsheet. So they do computer parks, PSK Technologies comes up. This is finance, guys. Oh yeah, financial transaction services target the financial community. Oh, here's machine learning. Here's an ad at the bottom of this search, guys, for finance for IY. Machine learning marketing for financial services. It's an ad. So, and it seems like that runs right back to my fiance's theory about the machine learnings, and that's we got something else too. Springer briefs. If I was going to mention deals with biotechnology as well. I found in the chemical search. Biotechnology sound familiar to the people who watched our video where we my fiance's hypothesis being further tied together through recent decodes. Here's some more for her. Um, so, now that gets you through finance. Now IY, backward, IY. This is confusing me now. Binary IY. Keep wanting to say backwards, but this is actually YI backwards. IY. Um, Installation manual. This is for medical guys because this is the one genetics did not come up with any results. All right. Now, this whole time I've been lumping genetics and medical together, and I refined the search just to the point I said medical instead of genetics and uh, instant results. So maybe I should be running those as two separate categories. Uh, I mean, honestly, I've been linking a lot of, there's been a lot, chemistry, genetics, uh, and technology all together, pretty much equal medical if you think about it, right? So I'd kind of taken the medical category for granted, but it's right next to genetics in my book, and here's stuff. Uh, 8260 manual. So this is all clean running water and immediately seek medical attention. So it's some sort of a manual. It's a document. Uh, yeah, this stuff is kind of confusing, guys. WLPC 24H user manual, book PSION Incorporated FCC ID. That's a recurring theme. I think, was it in the, yeah, maybe it's from here out. But I don't know. That's your medical slash genetic. I suppose we should be running another category altogether. Um, so then we ran IY's binary for against chemical, and here, oh yeah, here you go. WLPC24H user manual 7035 book PSION Incorporated FCC ID, and it goes on. You got battery charger manual, some chemicals going on with that. Problem solving and programming, 9th edition. So so there are results that come up for chemical. Looks like some manuals and stuff. And then if you run it in technology, you do get more stuff for technology for this code. But here we are again, WLPC24H user manual 7035 book PSION Incorporated FCC ID. So SG Security Communications MLR2-E installation manual. Meditation info, solidity, fixed size byte arrays. And so you got a few pages of this stuff. And ran randomly. Here we go again. You get the WLPC24H user manual 7305 book PSION Incorporated FCC ID again. So that comes up several times. I'm on page 3 to get that. Some of this stuff is confusing. Some of this stuff is in other languages. Intermec CK30 Programmer's Manual. So, yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff. And that gets you through going forwards and backwards in regular binary code in all the categories. And that is interesting, as far as I'm concerned. And I'll provide the links. I don't know. There ain't much to say about that. That's some pretty crazy stuff. Confusing. It gets a little confusing, and I apologize for that. So those of you who stuck with me, bumbling through that madness, I appreciate that. So that's going to be it for Soft&Dri. Period. I think it's pretty obvious that this binary code is coming back to more targeted stuff, and I don't know what's going to happen when we get longer codes. At that point, we might have to start breaking them up like we do the letters, and then the numerological numbers, and try running them that way. Because running them as one code is going to be a thing, but you never know. When you get to something like In Bloom, Nirvana in Bloom, when you get to something like that that spans a whole page across, that's going to span uh, several rows of code. And to run that all at once might be I don't know if it'd even fit in the search engine, maybe. Being that it's binary, something might come up. I don't know how that's going to work when you get into longer stuff. It might end up, breaking like, I'm looking at Stairway to Heaven now, GLDSTNE. It might come down to breaking up GLD and running them, or GLDS, and taking the binary for 3 or 4 letters at a whack. I'm not sure. We'll find out, because we'll try to find a longer one to do next. So to move through the charts, so we can get back to uh, uh, finding new effects in music, specifically to chart. We're only on 4.5 pages. We want 100. It's going to be a thing to get there at this point. So anyway, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. Sorry we ran it long, or I ran it long. This was some involved, a little bit more complicated stuff. And it was my first run of anything like this. But we got through it. So it'll get better as we go. So thanks, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your evening.